Welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Always great to have my guy, Nick Ashooh, back on the program. Longtime DC media personality. He's been covering the teams, talking about the teams for years, and always great to talk some Washington sports with you. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Washington sports is certainly getting better, at least from a football standpoint, isn't it? It's a nice change of pace for us.
Amazing. I mean, good things are coming to DC, and good things are coming to the franchise. It's unbelievable. I think I want to start with the possible new stadium at the RFK site because you're a native, right? You're born here, raised here. You know what that site means. You know what that old RFK stadium was like and the memories and the moments, the nostalgia. When you heard the news, what was that like for you, the reaction of the possibility of a new stadium being built there, Nick?
It just felt like we've had nothing but good thing after good thing happen the minute Dan Snyder was out the door, right? Like there was always this battle when it came to the stadium and where it was going to be. And Virginia was like, yeah, maybe we want you, but I don't know. And then DC's like, nah, we want nothing to do with you. The minute he's gone, everything changes. The RFK site is the only place where this new stadium should go. And listen, for a million reasons, seeing RFK just disintegrating essentially there right now, it's heartbreaking. It's tough for any fan of this team, I think, to see that, knowing the memories and all of the great things that happened in that stadium going back to the glory days. It felt inevitable, and I remember talking to somebody within the organization years ago. And the plan was always to try and get it there. But this goes back to the Dan Snyder era. So obviously things were different at that point. But, when you look at where it is now, it makes sense. It's in DC. It's a central location. The talk about moving it to Virginia was insane. As somebody that lived in Virginia for years, I'm just telling you, like, you're going to lose the Maryland fan base. And I know that was one of their fears. That was part of the conversation. The Ravens taking a lot of Maryland fans. Virginia fans were used to it at least being in Maryland, going to Landover. So if they had gone back there, you at least don't change the routine of people and of fans driving all the way from Richmond to go to Landover to watch games, which does happen. But DC, RFK, that spot, it's perfect. The plans look beautiful. I know those things can change, but it's like when you build a stadium now, it's not just about, hey, we've got a bunch of football games here. There have to be so many more other possibilities for that stadium and the surrounding area for it to really make sense. And it looks like, given the plans that we've seen, again, I know this stuff can change, they've got something there that's going to be a real magnet for fans and just people in the area in general.
And I've been envisioning this next wonderful news that the city and the fan base and the Commanders got the NFL Draft 2027 coming to the National Mall. I've been visualizing this for years, like it would just be the perfect backdrop, and now it's becoming a reality. This is a big deal. NFL Draft coming to DC, Nick.
I love it, and it's going to be something that, now that we've seen how the NFL Draft can work in any market, in any city, at any point. I mean, given the turnout that you had in Green Bay, what we had in Nashville a few years ago, you go down the list of all these cities. The NFL is an event year-round. There is no offseason for the NFL. It may be quiet right now, but there's always something going on. And, of course, the schedule release becomes a huge deal. And they've made everything an event. Dude, we watch fat guys run in tights and see how fast they can run 40 yards. Like, this is what the NFL does. But, seeing it now, and just, again, it goes back to, like, hey, we had these renderings of what the stadium's going to look like. We're getting the same thing when it comes to what they kind of plan, the backdrop, like you mentioned, right, and what that's going to look like in the city. It's going to be packed. And I go back and I was looking at old videos I had when I was standing on the stage before the Caps parade, the final spot on the mall, and all the fans that were there. Hundreds of thousands of people showed up for that. They're anticipating millions of people showing up for this on the National Mall. Now, the one negative to this is, oh my God, the security you're going to need in Washington, D.C. for this to be something that can go through. I can't imagine what goes into it. I'm so glad that that's not my job. That is an overwhelming thought to think about. But just from a sports fan's perspective and seeing what all of that will look like, that's going to be damn cool.
I think it's going to shatter records, attendance records, because that National Mall is going to be packed. I can't let you go without a kind of a sports betting angle, because that's your wheelhouse. I want to dive into the win total for the Washington Commanders. Let our viewers know what it's at. And I know last year, obviously, they flew over that win total. Maybe some regression here with the schedule getting tougher. What do you think?
It's certainly going to be a tougher schedule, but here's the benefit to where Washington is, right? The Commanders won 12 games this past year, but they're not going to have a first place schedule because the Eagles still won the division. So it helps them out a little bit. Their win total's at 9.5. Yeah, they flew over that 6.5 and then 7.5 that you had around there, depending on where it opened and where, the numbers move around a little bit in the offseason. They're sitting at 9.5 right now. And listen, this is a team that certainly made some additions this offseason, addressed the offensive line. Linebacker depth is still a problem, but they went out and got Deebo Samuel, who apparently doesn't look fat anymore, which is a great thing. It's good for him to be in shape. They could use that. So they've got some weapons there. They've addressed some needs that they have, and it's another year for Jayden Daniels in that offense. Yes, there's more film. Yes, there's a worry about a potential sophomore slump, but I do think that they're at least a 10-win team this year, barring normal health and a normal amount of NFL injuries versus anything crazy. So I do think that they go over that win total. I don't know if they're a 12-win team, though, because you have a little bit more. There's no surprise anymore from Jayden Daniels in that offense, but they have added new wrinkles, and as long as Cliff Kingsbury in that offense continue to add more and more wrinkles, so we don't have that weird lull like they had at that point last season where we went, oh my God, is this the Cliff Kingsbury we've seen where everything falls apart late in the season? As long as you don't have that, this is a team that should win at least 10 games. I don't elevate them above the Eagles right now, but they're better than the Cowboys, and they're better than, of course, the Giants at this point. So over 9.5 wins, I'm comfortable with that.
All right, great stuff as always, Nick Ashooh. Great catching up, my friend.
Always, buddy.
All right, much more to come right here on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us.